Okay, back to davening dinim. Basically, according to the Alter Rebbe, it's different than a lot of other opinions. But once you're in Birchas Krishma, once you're after Yishtabach, once you start Yotzet Ur of Arei Cheshech, until Shmon Esrei, it's what's called Birchas Krishma. Basically, in Birchas Krishma, according to the Alter Rebbe, you can only answer Amen Yeshmei Rabba, Amen after Akel HaKadosh and Shema Kolenu. You can answer Baruch Hu of Kedusha. You can say only Kadosh Baruch and Yimlech. You can't say Nagdishach. In fact, it's interesting. Even let's say it's Shabbos. Let's say you're in the middle of Birchas Krishma, and the Chazan is already saying Kedusha. So you're allowed to say Nagdishach. You don't say in Birchas Krishma, but even when you say Kadosh and Baruch and Yimlech, you don't say the additional parts of Shabbos. You know, by Shachar you have Oz B'Kol Rash Gadol M'Kemach Malkeinu Sefet. That you don't say. You just say Kadosh 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 Shem Tzokis Melech Laris Kvedei Baruch Kved Hashem M'Kemach in Yimlech. You know, the whole pasuk of Yimlech. But anything which is added on Shabbos, you don't say in middle of Birchas Krishma. In middle of Psukei de Zimra you do, but not in middle of Birchas Krishma.
Or Kriyat Torah, if somebody said Baruch Hu, you can say Baruch Hu.
If somebody getting an Aliyah and you're still in middle of Birchas Krishma, to get an Aliyah could say Baruch Hashem Baruch L'Anvad. You could answer Amens before and after. Vayibin say you don't say, B'rich Shmei, even in Psukei de Zimra you don't say. If you're in the middle of Psukei de Zimra before Yishtabach, and the minion is taking out the Sefer Torah, so then you can't say, you don't say Vayibin Sayah, you don't say B'rich Shmei, even in Psukei de Zimra.
If you are after, if you touch Kriyat Shema, and the Chazal doing the Katwanim, you answer Amen or
no? No, not in the middle of Birchas Krishma. What?
Rabbi, I think last week you were speaking, you mentioned something about when at a certain point you cannot even repeat the tefillah because it's considered talking.
No, we were saying yesterday about repeating words of the davening itself is forbidden.
But during the Amidah, is there a spot where you can pause and ask for anything you want in any language?
In middle of the Shmon Esrei, middle of the Amidah, so it says like this. If you have, let's say, God forbid, a sick person in the house, so in the bracha of healing, Rafa'enu, before you say Kikel Moruch Rofei Neman V'Rachmanota, you know, before the last verse of the bracha, you can pray for somebody who's sick.
With words?
Yeah, you can verbally. Halachically, you can do it even verbally. In middle of Shema Kolenu, you know, that you can ask for whatever you want.
Also, you can verbalize it?
You can, halachically, you're allowed to verbalize it. It's not considered because the Chachamim allow you to add those things because that's what you're davening. Rafa'enu means Hashem, please heal us. So if you have a particular sick person, so that's the bracha. You're not. What?
Sorry, that spot is it between key and the top?
Right before key.
Oh, so it's before the word key.
Mm-hmm.
For any, you mentioned that somebody got forbid at home, but anyone, or someone that you know.
the key is to do it before key.
I mean, b'chlal, this Misha Berach thing, you know, davening for sick people is nice if you daven for one person. List of people, it's just very funny. What can I tell you? You can go into Cedars, get the whole Cedars list, the whole Kaiser list, the whole UCLA list, and you can make Misha Berach. The minig is a person has a relative that's stuck very sick, you make a Misha Berach.
No, I'm saying that
The same thing by Sefer Torah. You don't just, a guy has a cold, you don't make a Misha Berach. That should be limited. There is a concept in Halacha, by the way, called Tircha de Tzibura. Tircha de Tzibura means basically the bother of the community. There's a lot of things we don't daven even because of Tircha de Tzibura, because we don't want to make the minion wait. We don't want to make the minion waste time. There's a lot of halachas of things that we don't say. That we normally would say, we don't say because of Tircha de Tzibura. I'll give you a simple example. We say Ashrei Shabbos morning before Musaf, yeah? Yeah? Why didn't you say Ashrei V'Alatzion like we say every day. Say it there. Instead we say it at Mincha. Why don't you say Ashri Volotzin like we do Rosh Chodesh before you daven Musik? You're saying Ashri Volotzin.
What's my next question?
You're such a brilliant guy. So one of the answers is because it's a long enough davening already. It's Techad the Sibura. So you cut it short. You'll say it later. But there is concepts in Allah of not wasting community time. I'll give you another example. It says about the repetition of Shemoneh Esrei. We learned that you need 9 people answering. So it says in Allah though, Poskim bring down, you shouldn't wait until the whole shul is finished. You shouldn't wait until the whole... When you have 9 people that are ready to answer, you start the Amidah. Why? Because it's Tircha the Tzibura. You're making the Tzibur. They already finished the Amidah. The people want to daven along, that's great. And they can listen, and it's considered like they said. Except they bring down that for the Rav, the people would wait. But like this, it says a Shulchan, other people bring down that once you have enough people, there's a concept called Tircha the Tzibura. What?
So where do you get the concept of 6 people?
6 people is to daven Shemoneh Esrei.
If you have 12 people in a minyan, 10 people in a minyan, do you need to wait for everyone to finish before you do Chazar Shabbat? Or you wait for 6?
No. You need 9 people answering.
During the week, Shabbos.
The only time you don't need 9 people answering is Ma'ariv. Because you don't have the repetition, but that's it.
I thought if the community's not going to be happy, it will not come. So
Because it says in Halacha, if you don't have 9 people answering, it's close to Bracha Levatala. It's close to the guy's making a bracha in vain. Because the whole criteria to be able to repeat the Shemoneh Esrei for the repetition is 2 things. You need 6 people, you need a minyan. Okay, besides you need 6 people that davened and 9 people answering. So if there's no din of Tircha the Sibura, because al pi din, if not, you're making brachas in vain, so you have no choice. Okay, next thing is like this. Krishma. The time of Krishma begins the same time of Talis and Tefillin, which is called Mishayakir, like we learned already by the dinim of Tefillin. Literally the word Mishayakir is one word out of a phrase. When you're able to recognize a friend that's a semi-friend, not a real close friend, a semi-friend that you're able to recognize 6 feet away. Meaning there's enough light outside that you can recognize a partially close friend 6 feet away. What is that in time? It's interesting. In Poskim, original Poskim, they don't give a time frame. Like they say, Amud HaShachar is 4 mil before sunrise. For this, they don't give... So a lot of the different opinions range in different things. There's a Prima Godim that says it's 6 minutes after Amud HaShachar, after dawn, 6 minutes after dawn. Other people say a half an hour. Some people say midway between dawn and sunrise. There's a lot of different opinions. But that's the same time Krishma goes. What?
Does it talk about like if there's a moon or not a moon when you see the person 6 feet away?
No.
That doesn't matter.
No. It needs there's enough sunlight. Not enough dawn light. There's enough, because the moon basically by then is gone. Now, how late, until when can you do the Shema? So we know every time it says a different time, and we write a different time for Shema. This week was 9:15, I think, whatever. How does that happen? So the time of Krishma is like this. The earliest you could do Krishma, the Chatchila is Mishayakir. Okay, when you're able to recognize this friend. How late does it go? Up to 4 hours in the day. 4 hours of halachic hours in the day. That's how long you have to be able to recite the Shema. Now, how do you count the halachic hours? By the way, it's an interesting thing. According to one opinion of the Mishnah and Brachas, you have to finish the Shema at sunrise. The morning Shema, you have to finish at sunrise because it says, when you get up, people got up at sunrise. So one opinion of the Mishnah is that you have to finish Shema at sunrise, which is, thank God, not the halacha. But Rabbi Yeshua says, up to 4 hours in the day. The Torah says, when you wake up, and normal people wake up at sunrise. So the Gemara says, so the Mishnah says, because that's when kings wake up. Kings don't overwork. So kings wake up 4 hours into the day. And because all the Jews are either Malachim or Bnei Malachim, the different versions, we're all kings or princes or whatever it is, so the halacha is like Rabbi Yeshua, that you're allowed to read the Shema until the end, until 4 hours into the day. No, I'm sorry, I'm saying a quarter of the day, a quarter of the day, which is 3 hours. Okay? Now how do you count hours? So there's a lot of different opinions in halacha. Some people say you count from dawn to nightfall, find out how many minutes there are in the day, divided by 12, and that's how long each hour is, each halachic hour. Other opinions say no, you start from sunrise to sundown, count how many minutes there are between sunrise and sundown, divided by 12, and that's how long each halachic hour is. Now it's interesting, the Magen Avram and the Alter Rebbe in Shulchan Aruch, holds that you count the day from dawn to nightfall. In Siddur, which the Alter Rebbe wrote afterwards, and more based on Kabbalah, also, the Alter Rebbe changed his opinion basically, and he said day starts from sunrise to sundown. Now it's interesting because if you count Zman Krishma, if you ever look on the calendars, it says Zman Krishma Magen Avraham, or MGA, or Magen Avraham, and then it says the Gra. Okay, the Gra, which was the Vilna Gaon, also held the same with Alter Rebbe, that it begins from sunrise to sundown. If you count the day, by the way, from dawn to nightfall, Zman Krishma is like a half an hour earlier each day than according to the other opinion. But the way we hold is that we hold the days from sunrise to sundown, and you divide how many minutes there are, you divide it into 12, and that's how long each hour, halachic hour is. So you take each halachic hour from sunrise, and when 3 halachic hours are over, that's when you have Zman Krishma.